everyone, and welcome to our Klipboard eApps webinar for ERP Go. Just some housekeeping. We would like to consider the time that we will spend on demoing these apps and going through the presentation. However, if there are any questions at any given point in time, please, you are more than welcome to share them through to us. What I'll do is at the end of the presentation, we'll have a Q&A session where we will then field and address all those questions that has that has been asked. Thank you. On with me today, I've got my colleague Matsediso, and she will then just assist me if there are any questions around or highlight, or if we need to pay attention to anything for that matter. But firstly, I would like to do a bit of an introduction as to what we are going to do today. And we are going to focus. So Klipboard has a number of there's a suite of apps that we've got, and we will focus on the following apps. That will be our ePick, our picking app. It will be our receipting and our eStock check app. Now, this apps will allow you to streamline your business, making it a bit more effective and ensuring that you're keeping your finger on the pulse in any scenario, and also limit the time spent on general annual stock takes by bringing your stock take process or cutting the process down by at least 50% to allow free time and more time to actually do a bit more stock takes. Now, whether you're looking to book in stock or do picking for customers or making deliveries, our Klipboard suite of mobile apps will help you work smarter. Each app integrates directly into our ERP Go application and will automate your workflows and gain on your productivity end of it as well. The first app that we will do and that we will start on would be our ePick application. And as I'll just run through a ROI or some of the benefits, the key elements that you will gain once looking at these apps, and that's exactly what we will drill down in our demo as well. So after we discuss each app and the opportunity that it brings, we'll do a live demo, and you'll see the app then in action as well. So ePick is intelligent guided picking and packing. It streamlines the stock picking process. It allows you to direct users to bin location. It picks up images of your products that's on an order as well, and you can also force scanning of barcodes. Now, you are able to use the ePick application with or without barcodes, but in efforts that you would like to minimize wrong goods, same product but different wattage. So wrong products that you are picking and sending off to your clients, this will then mitigate that error by enforcing your staff then to start scanning these products and then ensuring that this is the actual product on the picking task. So picking task can be generated for a particular job card. It can be generated by delivery and collections and interbranch transfers. So whatever process that you run in your business, the picking app you'll be able to manage that with your picking. As I mentioned, also it gives you the images as well as the barcodes as well, and it is real time. So if a product is short picked, it is real time and it will be highlighted in the system for you to be able to address. There are different reason codes that staff that will be prompt to select for the reasoning for picking short, such as damaged good or product not found or product has been opened. Any of those short or text tables that you then would like in your business, so that you can later on report on it and then address it accordingly. I think what we'll do now is we'll jump into a bit of a demo of our e-stocking app, and I'll just quickly switch my screens over to my ERP Go screen that you can see in the background. And the device that you see here is an Android TC2121 device, and this is where all my apps is stored. Now, our apps work on iOS and Android, but I have installed a few on my TC21. Now, generally in a workshop environment or at a distribution, you would like to have a rugged device that really can endure the knocks of the daily usage. And you can also clip it on a gun to then again go ahead and scan a barcode. Once you scan the products, it will then also highlight for you. For example, that we will follow on our ePick app would be quite straightforward. We'll go into on our app. We will pull a picking task or picking note, and then we will go ahead and complete that task. Now, in the older days, or not older days so much, but still today, what happens today is we print once we do an order, whether it is an invoice for delivery and collect or at IBT, we would then print out the picking note, and then that paper will then be the where the individual or the staff member would go walk around and scan and confirm that he scanned the quantity. He will then hand it back into someone, and then someone else in the store or in the business will then start capturing those goods. But what the ePick would allow you is to not just only cut out the paper in that process, but it also is live while you're processing your picks. That order will then be confirmed, and it can be archived as the stages go on. There are a number of reports that also support you to preview and also to monitor your picking stages as you go along in the business. But before I digress too much, what I will do is I'll just quickly take us to our stock on our ERP Go system. I want to have a look at my picking slips. I can see there are 3 picking slips that's outstanding. Now, considering the time that we've got that's allocated for our webinar, I've this morning quickly went ahead and created 3 orders for me, so I will be able to pick up those device or those picking tasks on my device. What I will do is I'll go into my picking app, and I can now search for a picking task. As you see here, I've got highlighted 3 picking tasks, and I've retrieved 3. I can then see there's for Quicksilver, for Mr. Red and Mr. Green, there are tasks outstanding. I can have a look at the weight. I can also see the number of lines that's allocated to that task. But one we'll focus on would be the one that has a bit more lines. The moment I do click on my task, it will then give me the information, and I can now go ahead and start my picking task. It gives me the lines that's on there. Are there any order text that I need to follow to say please wrap a certain product or wrap the goods before allocating it? It also gives me the quantity I need to pick, and then also gives me my product and the weight that I've confirmed to. What we'll do is we'll start with our angle grinder. We'll go into it, and now I can start scanning my product. If I've got a barcode for a scanner for this particular goods, I can either start scanning. As I mentioned, you can also manually input the quantity that you counted. As you can see there, it highlights to you a amber down arrow, meaning that it's less than what your suggested that's on the picking note. I can confirm that we are picking 3 of these products. I can look at the image of the actual product to ensure that I'm picking the correct angle grinder as well. And here we can go ahead and confirm. For every item, in consideration of time, I'll go ahead and complete the task as it's been assigned. I was going to mention that just at a later stage, if you want a bit more personalized demo, you're more than welcome to reach out to us so that we can ensure that we run these different scenarios that you face by short picking. And then there's a number of reason codes, like I mentioned earlier, with regards to say goods are damaged, what happens to that, what happens to the reporting element of it as well. But for this scenario, we'll be able to see, I've got a Cobra Amazon basin mixer, and I'm just going ahead and picking. You'll notice that I didn't click on the plus sign earlier, but I just went in the circle because now I can see I've got 8 in front of me, and I can go ahead and confirm that picking right now. One thing you'll notice that it also gives you the bin location. So it also directs your staff as to where to go and collect these goods. So there you'll see on my bin location of my previous products, it's PT1, it's step 1, and then tool 1. These are all bin locations that set up within ERP Go, and I'll be able to be directed. Again, have a look at the photo. I'm ensuring that I'm clicking on the correct combo of screwdriver sets there, and I can go ahead and confirm my order. Again, gives me the bin location, tells me what the product are. I can then just go ahead and confirm. Alternatively, I can also click or type the quantity that I'm now selecting. Now, it just does say that Mr. Green, these are the goods that I need to pick for Mr. Green. I can proceed and then confirm my pick. There are no exceptions. Generally, what exceptions would mean is if I would sort pick my products, and it would give me what was the reason that I've selected also on those sort picks as well. But now for this, as I mentioned, we'll go ahead and confirm my pick. Immediately in the background, once I have a look, once I just refresh my screen here, I would see here that I've got two picks outstanding because the pick that I've just completed, that was confirmed and it is done. So the line status of my pick has then also been confirmed. There are a number of ways that we can identify them. So we can color code them, or we can have these filters to identify only what's outstanding or only what the dates are or the source date of those picks are. But that's how easy it is to go ahead and do your picking. Now, simply, what have we done on here? So earlier on, I've created a sales order. I selected that my sales order can generate picking tasks, and then that's those three orders that you see there. I've then left it there to then start doing the picking for us while we on our webinar. As I mentioned, these could be triggered by invoices, delivery and collect, IBTs, job cards in the workshop. So whether you now need to fulfill a purpose and you need to collect goods in the store, you can also now go ahead, take a scan and log in, pull that works order and start scanning away on your products as well. But that is our e-picking in conclusion. And as I mentioned, if you're wanting a bit more advanced or additional a demo or personalized demo, you're more than welcome to reach out to us, and we will then book some time and I'll go through some of the scenarios that we do find, such as allocating picks, doing a individual or a staff member only doing certain picks for a customer, or only doing picks where it requires a heist, whatever scenario there may be, a heist driver with a license, whatever scenario there would be, we'll then be able to showcase that particular scenarios for you according to your needs. I think what we'll do now is I'll just jump over back to our presentation, and I think the next portion or the element of it would be our e-receipt, and we will then dive into the benefits and doing our receipting as well. Back onto our presentation. We've concluded our epic demo. That's just sorted and highlighted what we've seen. Maintain accurate stock levels, real time as pick shortages, dispatch data, post instantly back into ERP1. But those are the elements that we've seen in action right now. The next one would be our e-receipt, and this is generally where a driver would come, a vehicle would come, he would hand over a PO or a delivery note onto the receiving area. They'll then be able to then start scanning immediately, and it brings it in on the system. And then if there are any changes that's obviously required, that can be handled. But what normally happens in this scenario, and some of our clients has confirmed, is oftentimes the truck would arrive, he would wait in the for the offloading bay because there's a delay. And now what happens is the customer or the clients are now forced to receive goods off the truck so the driver can leave, and then only on a later stage then receive that. Number one, it doesn't update your stock live, so your salespeople will then not, or sales staff members won't know what has arrived, whether they can sell goods, and also if there are any discrepancies, you want to handle it then and there. So oftentimes they would need to speak to the supplier and say, you know what, we are short delivered on this, but the truck was offloaded without any documentation. So in goodwill, they said the driver could leave, but that's not oftentimes times a way to go. But as I mentioned, these are only just to highlight the benefits of it, and then speeds up communication between the receiving and accounts team with dedicated delivery tracking. It also generates a goods receipt note clearly displaying what was received and what the statuses are, whether it was parcel received from the supplier or whether it's just short, and then the action would then follow. The integration allows editing of receipt. Now, I don't have editing on my receipts enabled, but however, if a client prefers having their staff members to be able to edit on those receipts, such as the quantities, etc., they are more than welcome to highlight it and do so. And then lastly, it reduces paper and with smart workflows and saving time, reducing errors and keeping inventory accurate. So those are all the points that we've so far highlighted, and that's for our e-receipt application. It's for receipting, and I think what we'll do now again is we'll jump over to our ERP Go system and log on to our e-receipt app, and we'll then go ahead and go off and do the demo. Again, back onto my ERP Go system. I'm going to my home page, and immediately I'll be able to pull up my device. Just want to minimize that so that I can open up my e-receipt application here. Just for completeness, I would like to go into e-receipt because these tasks has been allocated. I've also highlighted to say that we are now doing color codes on it, so we can see what orders has been confirmed and what orders are then obviously pending. So if you are able to see that I've confirmed quite a few orders, and the rest is obviously still pending. The color codes then means that I've confirmed and that there are partial receipting on these purchase orders, or whether it's locked by a user, whether someone within the business is busy editing on that order. It gives me my total quantity and my receipting quantity as well. And if we do then go into our app, the looks of it, I can now say this is the delivery note number. So we'll say delivery note 101, and I can go ahead and create a GRN. What happens now is I do see the product that's on my purchase order. I can view for any notes. I can also attach images to my order. So whether the goods is damaged within the truck, I can then go ahead and confirm that I am taking a picture of those goods that has been damaged, and that will go back into ERP1. For this example, same like the other one, we'll conclude. As you seen earlier, this one was parcel receipts. I've received some of the other goods already, which I believe had a few lines on it, but we'll confirm that shortly. And I can go ahead and confirm my order. I can say, okay, so it's just got the one line. I can go ahead and confirm it. And as the color coded, as this one was orange a little earlier, the moment we refresh our page, we can then see it's also highlighted. So it's completely live on ERP Go. You can go ahead and do another one. So I've just this morning created a few. So I've got PUR3. Yes, PUR3. Once I search for one, I can then go ahead and receipt the goods. Again, 1011, my delivery note or invoice number, and I can go ahead and GRN those goods. So immediately, the moment I do click on my products, I can either click on the plus sign or go in the circle directly. I can leave a note, take a photo, and I can go ahead and confirm it. That product will then, the truck is now being, while the truck is being offloaded, I scanned my goods or like I entered manually on there, and the goods now is back into stock, and the receiving has concluded. Once I just refresh, we can see our PUR line status also has changed as well. I think the next element, what we'll do, and because we've got some time on the end for some Q&A, so what I'll do right now is I'll jump immediately into our e-stock check application, and then we can just dive through. Let me just open my device here again and just move it slightly to the right. And our next portion that we'll obviously look at would be our e-stock check application. I'll just open my presentation again, and I won't dive into the summary. I think we've covered most of these points, so, and you could see it in you could literally see it in action. And our next element that we are going to focus on is our e-stock check application. Now, this, as I mentioned with the introduction, this speed up the entire stock take process from how you would print a count sheet, hand it over to someone, they write their name on, they start counting the products, bring that sheet back to someone to capture it, and then if that individual can then confirm and look at the variance, they will do it. What this stock check will allow you is you assign it to a e-stock check device or an application, and while the individual staff member is still counting the products, you can already have a look at the variance and also request them to address variances if there are any of major concern. However, they are not going to bring back a piece of paper for anyone to update. The quantity that they put on the device will be immediately entered into ERP Go. As we can capture batches with references to serial numbers as well, and product details in full traceability. At real times update the stock check, and that's what we've mentioned. And I'll just go through some of these points in case I've missed one. And it enables multiple users to count simultaneously, improving efficiency and accuracy as well. And again, it eliminates the paperwork, reduces error rate substantially, and obviously shorten the stock take process by 50%, so you could have more frequent stock takes. And that's some of the testimonials of our eStock app, is that customers could have a bit more stock take. They could perform a lot more stock takes throughout the year, and then the write-offs at the end of the year have been managed throughout, and there's a substantial difference between the amount that has been write-off with whilst just having one stock take a year, because it takes so long to hand the seat back, upload it, and because it reduces your time spent on a stock take, you are able then to have more and keep your finger on the pulse and on your inventory. I would say. What we'll do now is we'll dive straight into the demo. For this example, I have not prepped a stock take before, so I am going to do a stock take with. So I'm doing not a complete stock take. I'm doing a departmental stock take, and I'm taking 100, which is about 4 or 3 items of there as well. So I could just say EG stock check. There we go. There are obviously other options that you can like track deliveries and collections, but these are all within ERP Go, and whatever is generated within ERP Go will then be available on the actual device. The moment I do say okay, I'm going to confirm. I'm going to import. Let's just do a filter. Well, it's not 3 or 4 items, it's 6 items. The moment we confirm, we can then see the on hand quantities, on hand available, and what we are counting. And the moment we save that, we've then send it through to our e-stock check device. I'll be able to go ahead and pick up my stock check, my EG stock check there. Does give me the location. And the moment I start my stock take, I do see that I have one page there. I can go ahead and start my stock take now. Now I can go ahead and confirm that I've got 102. Now that's a significant amount, but I'm just doing that on purpose. So we can now start seeing what happens. So this one is 5. We can add to total and we can confirm. And this one would be 59. I'm just adding the totals manually instead of scanning my products. But as you can see, these all have different color codes to it. So here we've got the green. That's confirmed to be exact amount. There we've got one less, and that's supplier set, and it does give an indication of red. And also this one will exceed. So, and this one will give us a amber color as well. Yeah, I'll go 102. I'll add to my counted quantity and I can confirm the actual product. Bear in mind, this is me entering quantities manually. This can either be scanned and the scan will then count those products, but those are things that we can set up for a personalized demo if that is what the business are doing. But this just shows that you doesn't necessarily need barcoding. It would be beneficial if you do have, because then you can scan, but if you don't, you are then able to go ahead and look at the picture, verify the product, and then also enter the quantity of the goods manually. This one I immediately I can see I've overpicked on this. And whilst my stock take is still running and I haven't confirmed it, I can go ahead and look at my. I just want to look at my count variance, and I can preview my report, and immediately I can see what my adjustments are, where my values are, where there are any discrepancies, and what the quantity. There's my 65 against my 60 that I had on hand, and it shows me my various counted is 1. This shows me an increase of value. I've counted 49, and the variance there is then obviously 24, so I had 25 on hand quantity. But this is just to show you that it's completely live. And what I can do is I can go ahead and finalize and complete my stock take. My count is now has been complete. The person that captures or can input the stock take quantities are able to go ahead and look at those different reporting. There are a number of reports that they can focus on. They can look at the complete stock listing by department, all items currently in the specific count sheet, or a detailed count variance, which we haven't looked at earlier. But they are able to go ahead and look at those reports. Once they are happy with it, they're more than welcome to go ahead and finalize that. So all the quantities that was inputted on the device is immediately available within ERP Go, so we can go ahead and confirm my stock take. Once we have a look at my products, and I'll go to inquiries just to pull up one with a department 100, which is my tool department, and there we can see these are the earlier stock takes that are taken, and these are then the adjustments that it has posted to the ledger with the references as well. What I'll do now is I'll go back onto our presentation, and we do have a pre-recorded session, and I'll go to our next page. This is just, really just a summary, high level of what we've done. We've kept our inventory. We can reduce write-offs, as what I alluded to a bit earlier. Before I started the stock take, we can handle any inventory type with each, supporting batch control and serialized products as well. It shorten stock takes, and minimize the disruption by enabling multi-users to count at the and simply modifying or modernize the stock control by replacing manual processes with the fully digital approach. What I will do now is I'll proceed with our presentation, and right after our pre-recorded session by Rachel, which is the head of product of mobile apps, that will also just highlight to you where we are moving towards with our apps and how we can improve them and what it will mean for our customers that will enjoy the benefits of having a Klipboard mobile app and fully integrated with the current system in conjunction. And so what I'll do is I'll quickly play the pre-recording session of our head of product of mobile apps, Rachel, and then we'll take it from there, the Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Ewan. So before we jump into a product update, I'd like to do a brief introduction. So for those of you that haven't met me before, I'm Rachel Marchant, and I joined Klipboard in August last year, and I head up the product team for our mobile applications across Klipboard. So this includes eReceipts, ePick and eStockCheck warehouse apps that Ewan has just walked us through, as well as a retail sales app and our ePod proof of delivery application as well. So today, my main aim really is to share some of the upcoming changes that we have planned across our eApps, as well as share some of the new product capabilities that we're exploring in our development roadmap as well. So one of our key focus areas across the mobile portfolio is the UI and UX refresh that we have underway. So for our users, we know that every second counts. So the goal here is simple. It's to make the apps faster to use, easy to understand, and more intuitive in busy real-world environments. So our UI refresh focuses on a modern, sleek design and a more consistent experience across our eApps, focusing on reducing friction in day-to-day tasks. So ePod and ePick are the first applications that are undergoing the refresh, and that will be quickly followed by our other warehouse apps. So eReceipts, eStockCheck and eWarehouse. And the work that we're doing is going to cover both Android and our iOS apps to ensure a consistent experience regardless of the device that you're using. So I've got some ePod and ePick designs here to show you today. So a bit of a sneak peek, I guess, as to what the apps are going to look like once they've undergone the UI refresh. So the UI upgrade will include all of the key features that you have in your apps today, just with cleaner, crisper workflows. Really what our designers have been doing is been working hard to produce the new designs to deliver a consistent experience regardless of the app that you're using, and also across a wider product ecosystem within Klipboard as well. From an apps perspective, what we're doing as a secondary phase is streamlining the UX, the workflows further, to ensure that the apps are optimized for business operations. So really focusing on fewer taps to complete common tasks and just making the apps even easier and faster to use. So in our ePod proof of delivery app, a new capability that we're actively exploring now is payment on delivery. So the aim here is to understand how we can better support different payment methods at the actual point of delivery. So for example, identifying when payment is required, providing more flexible ways, for the driver to essentially take that payment. So this includes looking at things like extending our cash payment workflow within the app, as well as exploring the ability to have surface pay by link options within the app itself, and enabling the QR code to be exposed so the driver can then obviously show that to the customer and they can make the payment, and also looking at pay by card and tap to pay capabilities. So this is currently in the discovery phase at the moment, and what you're seeing here are early screen concepts. shared to support discussion and feedback, really. So if this is something you feel would benefit your company, please get in touch if you would like to be part of the product discovery process. And then the final area I'm going to cover today is something we know is increasingly important for our customers, and that's the opportunity to explore how vehicle inspections could be integrated into our ePod app. So looking at vehicle inspections or vehicle walkthroughs and to see how we could capture that information digitally and consistently in the app, recording the vehicle condition rather than perhaps using processes outside of the apps or using paper forms, for example. So from an operational perspective, this is about simplicity and visibility. So given drivers a structured mobile first way to record inspections, to reduce the time that it takes, the kind of the admin overhead that it provides, improve the quality of the data that they're capturing, and also give operational teams quicker access to reliable information. So as with payment on delivery, we're actively engaging with customers to understand sort of like real world requirements before we take this forward. So please get in touch if you have any feedback, and that will help us to shape where we take this proposition next. So that concludes my product update for today. So I'll now hand you back over to Ewan for Q&A.
So as we've seen, it's the development or the new UI is not just necessarily only focused on making it a bit more appealing and making it more user-friendly, but it's also about bringing in newer features that will benefit our business and our offering, and hence Rachel extended the invitation to be part of it, so we can robustly bring out our offering with more features and obviously occupy the market as well. Right now, we'll have some time for a Q&A session. I did, however, ask my colleague Machadiso to just do oversight on it. So if you maybe just give me an opportunity to switch my screens around, so I'll just have a look and see on those what's on the Q&As. But you're more than welcome. If you haven't asked, you're more than welcome to ask your question, and we'll address it now. Alternatively, we can obviously set up a quick call to understand it a bit more in detail, and obviously just understand where the requirement come from and how we can manage and battle that request out. So if it just give me an opportunity, I'd just like to slightly change my screens on my side. Okay. I do see, does it need to connect to the office network Wi-Fi, and can it work with mobile data? Absolutely can work with mobile data and offline as well. I think that's one crucial point that I've left out, that we've got highlighted in our presentation. So it can work offline as well. And then with regards to cost for these apps or modules, as what the individual has mentioned them, what we'll do is we'll share a price list with them, and I'm not 100% on the latest cost and whether there are campaign attached, so I wouldn't want to just mention out the price, but I'm happy to take your details and then have the team send out some pricing as well. And as I mentioned, if you want a personalized demo with your business and see how we can improve that and almost give you a concept of how it will benefit you and pilot, you're more than welcome to request that from us, and we will then be able to set that up. Okay, if that's all the questions that has come through, I'm happy for us to conclude our session. As I mentioned, we are more than welcome. We are more than willing to assist if there are any specific inquiries or anything that you'd like to see in your business. We're happy to set that up for you, and so that you can see the benefit of the applications. Thank you everyone for joining, and have a good afternoon further. Thanks, GD.